Greetings fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers. Today I'm going to unbox Masters of the Night by Ares Games. This one is quite exciting for me because I worked on it. Yes, I don't know if you know, but I have a company called Universal Head. I'm also known as Universal Head, but I'm a graphic designer and have been my entire working life. And these days I try and mix my hobby and my working life as much as possible by doing graphic design for board games. I've done a few projects for Ares in the past. I worked on Aztlan and the remake of Incognito, and they're lovely people, and this one I worked on a little while ago and it's just arrived in the post. It was a Kickstarter campaign. This is the box. There's also a Kickstarter Extras box here as well. So lots of lovely goodies. Let's look inside. Now, it's always a bit weird when you get one of these in the post that you've worked on because it takes a long time to do the graphic design for a board game. They're usually quite long projects and you put a lot of work into them, so it's very exciting to see the final result. In this case, the game was created by Agrology, another company, and they'd already done the graphics, but Ares wanted to give it a bit of a makeover and increase the thematic presence of the whole game. So they asked me to do just that. Well, here we go. Let's see how it turned out. Ooh. Okay, we've got a little book of game releases and advertising there. This is all shrink wrapped, so let's open this up. And here we go. Look at this. Now, the interesting thing about this game is that when I got it to work on it, it had a story, of course. There's a vampire family trying to survive in a city, but the overall graphic look wasn't completely unified, and I had to sort of work out how to approach the whole thing. And because all the illustrations were done, I looked at the illustrations, and I remember particularly looking at some of these location sheets here, and in one of them they have an illustration of a car, and it's a sort of 1940s style car. So I did a bit of research and looked up that particular car, found out what period it was from, and then worked around from that. So I did everything in the style of a kind of 1940s newspaper look. These came out nice. They're lovely and thick. These are the location areas. And one of the main graphic things I came up with was this sort of newspaper look. So we had this alternate city, and we had this newspaper look, 1940s style. And all the typography choices and colour choices came from that. So you can see there's a bit of sort of a half-tone look in the text, as though it's been printed, things like that. This text has got a kind of 40s, 50s feel from old film noir films. There's a bit of a film noir feel. This is the car I was talking about. So that's how the kind of style developed for the graphic design. Really fun job and fun to work on. So as I said, they're the location tiles that you sort of make up a board from, and they're lovely thick tiles and nicely illustrated. These are the members of your vampire family, and these came out rather nicely, don't they? Again, there's a sort of newspaper thing there. They've all got strong colours, and the other fun thing was having this newspaper style, but then the illustration also informed that a lot because it was a very monochromatic style of illustration with bursts of colour. So I was very much influenced by the original illustration and bits of design to do that. And they look great. One thing I did is have these little notches on the side so you could put your counter in there to keep track of the different levels along the gauge here. So that looks really nice. Love those bright colours contrasting with the sort of newspaper beigey colour. Lovely. This is another important part of the game. Again, it's great to see things like this. Obviously, things like this I just did by hand with a biro and then scanned it in and put it on and stuff like that. So it looks like someone's actually done that with a biro on the newspaper. Got those. And these are for the different number of vampires or players you have in the game. And then we get onto the rulebook. Nice size. It's a good little compact size, I think. I prefer a more compact rulebook. And of course I laid all this out and did all this. Oh, it looks very nice. The production is lovely. It's turned out well. Of course, rulebooks, you'd be surprised how much effort goes into laying out a rulebook and making it all work. That looks great. Very pleased with that. And of course, I added all these little bits of texture and things to make it look a slightly film noir-y, film grain look to everything. Here we've got some counters. Again, nice thick card. Production is great. There's all our characters as well. Oh, and they're just falling out of the die cut there, which is great. Looks like a great insert here. This is really nice. And very much custom designed for the components. You can see these spaces here. It's a bit hard to tell. There we go. Spaces specially made for the components, which is great. Some lovely blood red dice. A deck of cards. And here we have all the locations where things show up during the game. Got some old maps there and a newspaper style going through. They look good. Heaps of those. Then some lovely items. And again, I did a little bit of a treatment on the illustration just to go with that feel of things being sort of monochromatic but with real bursts of colour as well. Of course, some lovely illustrations to work with, which is great. Always good to have good elements to work with. Little touches like this, you know, bring that over the newspaper, brings it alive a little bit. And of course, doing the back in the newspaper style. So for the relics deck, you've got this bit of newspaper, and then for the other ones, these are broken into 3, 2 and 1, and of course there's less blood on them as you go through number 1. There's only a couple of tiny little drops in the corner here, and it gets more and more bloody as you go on. Final edition. Well, they worked well. The cards are great. They're good quality. Very pleased to see this in physical form at last, off my computer, and actually a thing. Back in the days, many years where I did normal graphic design, lots of websites for a long time, it was frustrating because you do websites and they were kind of ephemeral things that exist on the internet that change very, very quickly. So I find it really satisfying to actually do physical graphic design because you have an object which exists. Here are vampire miniatures. And these look like they match very closely the illustrations. Let's find our characters and see how they match. Here's Navina. Very detailed. They look great. Istvan. Imri. Agnieszka. Here's Laszlo. He's pretty beefy. I'm very impressed with the way they've sculpted the miniatures to match the illustrations. Looks great. And finally, Mila. They're excellent. Very, very good miniatures. I'm impressed. Wow, I'm actually blown away. That looks great. Aries have done a beautiful job on the production. Very happy with that indeed. But we haven't finished yet. There's another set. This is the Kickstarter Expansion. It's a special expansion for Masters of the Night. Includes content you cannot find in the standard version of the game. So let's have a look inside this box. A little note to Kickstarter backers telling you what you've got there. Extra district tiles, additional cards, another character, and also miniatures for agents and minions. Wow. Now, a book of stories. Now, this is interesting because, of course, you know, you do the graphic design for a job and then sometimes they take the assets and go off and do extra stuff. So I didn't do this. I had nothing to do with this at all. But you can see that the style of the logo and everything has been continued. Aries, of course, have access to a lot of good graphic designers. And this is great. Look at stories based on the characters. Whole lot of reading. What a lovely extra. That'll really immerse you in the theme of the game. That's really something. Wonderful stuff. Oh, look, there's a lot of reading there. That was a unexpected extra. I wasn't expecting that at all. Good stuff. Now, what have we got here? Oh, it's just some nice prints of some of the illustrations. And they're great, aren't they? I mean, this was really, as you can see, the illustration was very much an inspiration for my graphic design. Love this monochromatic style with just the bursts of red. I think it works really well. Lovely brooding illustrations. That's a nice extra. What do we have here? Well, this is new to me also, and what a lovely extra it is. It's a special board to put your character sheets in. So if I get one of the character sheets, that looks like it pops in there perfectly. That's lovely. And then let's get one of the counters. Let's say Mila, she's red, so let's pop this one out. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's a wonderful extra. See, this is one of these things that, I thought, will this work? And it does. That works well on its own. You can sit on the board like that and you can move it from space to space. But with this extra frame they've created, that is just especially wonderful, isn't it? Just move that down, pop, you know exactly which level you're looking at. Oh, that's a really important extra. Wow, lovely stuff. Oh, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Here's our new character. This looks like Tom Cruise, doesn't it? We have more cards, more relics. Okay, more location cards. A lovely insert as well. You usually don't get a nice insert with a Kickstarter Extras box, but you do here. What have we got here? Some more counters. That's for our new character. His seal. And more locations. Chinatown. Yes, I remember doing these ones as well, so to me it was all part of the one thing, of course. This one looks like a blank one. Maybe you can make your own. Sewers. Oh, I don't remember doing that. That's an extra one. Must have added some others later. That's great. Some things to put on the bottom of your miniatures. Some lovely blood markers. And oh, we've got some metal things here too. Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh, this is great. Little metal marker there. This is wonderful. I wonder if these go into these. How do these work? Oh, these are different colours. So these must be seals. And they come in the particular colours of the characters. And they're all metal. Oh, how lovely. Really nice. And then, oh, look at this. Look at the texture of that. Another one. More markers. These are the markers that we've just seen. So you could use these like so. Oh, nice. Wow. This is some of the most impressive Kickstarter extra stuff I've seen for a while. Look at that extra marker as well. These markers are used on this sheet. That'll go on there. Wonderful. And look at that. Of course, that's a metal version of this marker. And look, there's even a special spot in the insert for that to go. Does it go in there? Does it go in there? No, it doesn't quite go in there. Maybe that's for something else. Great stuff. And then finally we have miniatures. Here's our new character, looking very dapper. And then we have 21 agent and minion miniatures. Instead of using counters, you can use these great miniatures. Well, I must say I am very, very happy indeed to see what a beautiful job Ares have done with the production of Masters of the Night. And of course, I was expecting them to, because they always produce beautiful looking games. And again, it was a great honour working on this one for them. Thank you, Ares, for sending me a copy, and thank you for the job. It was a lot of fun. If I was a young kid and someone had come up to me and said, you'd be doing the graphic design on games about vampires with a film noir feel, I would have been over the moon. So it's really great to see this stuff actually happen. And apparently it's an excellent game as well. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, so I'm really looking forward to getting it to the table. And it's going to look beautiful on the table, I reckon. So I'm proud of this one, and I hope you enjoy it. If you've got a copy yourself, if not, grab yourself a copy and enjoy Masters of the Night. I will see you next time. This has been Peter, also known as Universal Head, from the Esoteric Order of Gamers, orderofgamers.com, and of course there will be a rules summary and reference for this game, and you know it's going to look good because it's going to use all the original assets from the game itself, because I was the designer. So I'll get that on orderofgamers.com as soon as possible. In the meantime, thanks for watching and good gaming. And just before I go, look at all those pieces nestling beautifully in the spaces created for them in this insert. There's even a little token thing here where the blood drops go. It's just beautiful. I do like a well-designed insert. I certainly won't be replacing this one with foam core.